Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to the Too Fit Podcast, hosted by the Too Fit guys, Jake and Josh. Now, Too Fit, by definition, is actively pursuing a state of health and well-being beyond perceived limitations. So, if you are looking to push the boundaries of performance mentally, physically, and everywhere in between, then you have come to the right place. On the Too Fit Podcast, we will be interviewing and having fireside chats with renowned experts from doctors and strength and conditioning coaches to athletes and entrepreneurs. Our goal is to extract tools and tricks of the trade that you can implement, whether you're a world-class athlete, weekend warrior, entrepreneur, or grinding out the 8 to 5, all in order to assist you on your journey to becoming Too Fit. All right. Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another edition of the Too Fit Podcast. And we have the pleasure of having Andy Hnilo on the show today. Model, actor, entrepreneur, athlete. What else, Andy? The list goes on, right? And
I saw a soap star in there. Some Days of Our Lives action. Is that right?
Oh, well, geez. Back in the day.
And Andy joins us from California today. And we're going to get into his business.
But he loves Texas, so.
Who doesn't, right?
That in there.
Oh, man, I got to go back. That flight is cheap, too. I think it's only like $120 round trip to Dallas. I love Dallas.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I haven't been out your way to College Station. So where would I fly out? Does College Station have an airport?
It does, but it's not very big. You probably have to fly into like Austin or Houston.
And then drive there?
Yeah, either drive or you can get like a little commuter flight probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a bad drive, like about an hour and a half from there.
I want to go out there for like a football weekend, a Texas, an A&M football weekend. I got to experience that.
And you'll have to. We got a freaking Coliseum here now. They just redid the stadium. It's unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, what does it seat now? It's about 105,000 people, 110, something like that.
Something ungodly,
it's massive.
you know?
Yeah.
And they probably fill it up every weekend, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, it's a cool experience. Yeah, Aggie football is an experience like no other. So, especially if you're a sports fan, which I know you are. Right. So,
and Andy, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Northern California in a town called Palo Alto, which is Stanford University. It's a college town, and I lived there. My parents still live there. I went to UC Berkeley on a baseball scholarship, and then I kind of bounced around after that, just because I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to at Cal. And so I wanted to get my professional career started. So I went to a junior college in San Mateo and had a bone bruise in my hand. Still got an opportunity. I had to work out with the Giants in front of Brian Sabian, Larry Baer, Peter McGowan on AT&T, at AT&T Park. That was one of the best experiences of my life. And then went to Sac State after that, went to St. Mary's, and then graduated from St. Mary's in 2006. But I bounced around quite a bit and then moved down here to Los Angeles, where I've been since. It'll be 10 years in June. So, yeah, man, it's been quite a ride.
Wow. So how far did you end up taking the baseball thing?
So I moved down to Los Angeles in 2006 because I wanted to rehabilitate my my partially torn rotator cuff that I had. And it's been after College San Mateo, I had opportunities with the Giants. Wasn't drafted after Sac State, had opportunities with, White Sox, Brewers, Diamondbacks, wasn't signed. And then I went to St. Mary's and I wanted to play independent baseball after that. Never was drafted, but I always had interest, because I had, the physical tools, things like size, speed, arm strength, but I never really put it together, to be honest with you. I just had like the raw tools, but I still had opportunities and still had interest from that. So I wanted to come down to Los Angeles and continue that in the independent route, which a lot of affiliated, and when I say affiliate, I mean like affiliated with major league teams. A lot of scouts scout independent ball, which is a chance for those past players in affiliated ball and players like myself who never really got their opportunity to play professionally and then also get seen by those affiliated teams and then potentially get picked up and signed and then continue your professional career. It's crazy. Like Jose Canseco, Ricky Henderson, a lot of ex-major leaguers go that route. And so you get a big mixture of a lot of talented players that played affiliated ball from anywhere from AAA, AA, single A to all play together all around the United States. I mean, there are leagues, California Golden Baseball League was the one that I was going to play in. And then, they're all over East Coast, Frontier League. I mean, you name it. But while I was working out with a local high school out here to keep my arm in shape and just get it back, I had a partial tear. So there were no surgeries for it. So I just had to, it took time and then just taking care of it. And then slowly I got my arm back into shape. And then my roommate who I was living with at the time was an actor, and he auditioned for this film. It was an independent film. I was just kind of running lines with him. And when I mean running lines, like I had a script, he had a script, and I was playing the opposite character, him, to go over his audition. And I just, when you don't care about things, there's no pressure, and you're kind of just, I performed my best so I was just I was nailing it. And he's like, and it was a baseball related film, and he'd never played before. And so he's like, it was kind of obvious that I was the character that he was reading for. And so I didn't suggest it, but he was like, man, have you ever thought about doing this? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but, cause you have to have an agent, you have to have a manager, you have to get submitted to get an audition. There's a big process for casting just to get an audition. Well, long story short, he got me an audition for that film that he was auditioning for, which is really nice of him. And, I ended up, long story short, I got a call back, and then screen test. And then I ended up booking that, gave up baseball, and just wrote it out and had a blast. I filmed for a little over a month as in the lead role. And I got an agent manager from that and just been riding it out since in the entertainment industry. And then, I got into the accident in 2011. That definitely put things on hold for a little bit. And then I created my company, and then I'm still acting and modeling, but I mean, my baby is nutrition and health, wellness, skincare, and that's what I'm here for. So.
Very cool. So that one kind of screen reading or script reading with your buddy led you down the path of acting and modeling and everything else.
It did.
That's awesome.
It did. I mean, I had modeled my teammates gave me a hard time for it. I had modeled when I was in college, when I was still playing, but it was something I kind of kept on the wraps. And, but yeah, I had an agent for modeling in Northern California while I was in college, but I came down to LA with the intention of maybe continuing that. But I really, that was kind of down the road. But the acting was just in the back. It was never even, it was just kind of a flicker of maybe one day, but never. I mean, how do you go about that? I mean, it was one of those things being in Northern California, you always viewed Los Angeles as like, wow, I mean, I remember that excitement of first moving down here and being like so in awe of the entertainment industry. And never really even, thinking that I would be an actor, but, it happened. And yeah, it worked a lot. Things are good. I mean, I may get back into it if I ever, pass this business, pass off some of the responsibilities to other people and free up my time. But I really like what I like running a business. I like, I'm sure you guys can relate. I love the hands-on part of it. I love controlling, every single part of the process of things, from customer service to, research and development to, signing off on your business, your baby. I mean, this is what excites me. The entertainment industry was extremely exciting as well, but, it was more like a grind and homework, reading scripts that maybe I don't relate to as well. But when we're doing something that every single part, is 100% passion, like health, wellness, you guys know, with supplements and stuff that interests you, it's not work. It's like, it's full on excitement, and a creative outlet as well.
Yeah. You don't want to put it down. So Andy, you mentioned the accident in 2011. Would you mind diving into that a little bit and giving people kind of the background of what led you to create, your company now?
Yeah. So I was crossing a street in not a very well lit area on Melrose on a Saturday night. And I looked down at my phone, and it's a terrible habit that I had. And I kind of thought that cars would adjust to me. I mean, it's It's horrible. But anyway, I got hit by a westbound heading Toyota Tundra, and then which hit me in the eastbound lane, and then a Land Rover ran over me. I lost consciousness, flipped around, and woke up in the ICU, but bone was exposed to the bottom of my mouth. I mean, they told me not to talk because it was just in particles, my whole left side of my face. And I broke 7 ribs. I collapsed my lung. It was horrible. But 5 days later, I left the hospital. I was able to walk out, and when you're so banged up, you just try to find, you have a lot to be thankful for. I mean, people don't survive those accidents. And so I came home, and it took a day or two to kind of like go, all right, here we go. How are we going to beat this thing? And I went from just trying to, I didn't have any ligament damage, luckily, to my knees or my arms. So I was able to but I was extremely banged up from just the whole physical trauma that I went through from being hit. And so it was tough just to get up and walk to the bathroom, but I could walk. So I figured I was going to accelerate that process through circulation from head to toe. And I had an interest in nutrition and supplements, but I figured, all right, so I'm going to use arginine, Hoshu Wu to start building that circulation of my blood throughout my body. And I would go on walks throughout my neighborhood at night because I didn't want to do it at day to have that sun bake in my scarring and my abrasions. So I did it at night. They have this path out here that is probably about 3 miles long, but it's lit. And I would just throw my headphones on and walk back and forth. And I would just go back home. But that circulation that developed through that, also the supplementation that I was doing, because my jaw was wired shut. I couldn't eat, but I made these really, really nutrient dense smoothies in the morning. And I had a specific tonic at night that I would do to help recover. My big thing was circulation in the morning, nutrient density with Ayurvedic and anti-inflammatory herbs, and then also herbs and mushrooms that were going to help strengthen my immune system. But I was doing things like egg yolks. I was grinding up bison liver, deer placenta, and I was just through the wires, just down my mouth, and it tasted horrible. Matter of fact, my sisters were here within the first part of it, and they would boil up beets and just to get some good nutrient density in there. And then put the beets in there too. The first time I ever did the smoothie, my system rejected it. And so just imagine throwing up through the wires. It was heartbreaking for my sister that she actually started crying, because imagine throwing up through the wires. So you're like, oh, like it was horrible. Like, yeah. It was really bad.
I'm sorry, Andy, but I am thinking like throw up in deer placenta right now. And that's explain to our listeners what the use of something like a bison liver or deer placenta.
So it's extremely nutrient. A lot of animals, apparently Dave Asprey told me that a lot of animals eat their placenta after giving birth because it's the most mineral rich source of food that I know it sounds horrible, but it's extremely nutrient dense and rich in minerals and everything. So I got it from Dragon Herbs out here. It's a little capsule. I definitely, I would just empty those capsules out in there. And I would do anything that it took to get my system back to where it was. I lost 17 pounds, within, first month or two. And I didn't really have much weight to lose. So it was hard, but, and then things like the egg yolks, I really believe, and then liver, extremely high in B vitamins as well. I really believe that our system reacts best to things that are natural and from the earth, and not synthetic and chemically and I think toxic supplements that are out there. And it was a challenge. I just figured out ingredient by ingredient. I did a ton of research. I didn't want to leave my house. That's for sure. And I had nothing but time. And so there's a lot of information out there. And I use myself as my biggest science experiment to accelerate my recovery. And I did that. I booked a job for Macy's it was a runway gig, and I didn't want to tell my Northern California agent that I wasn't going to make it. And so I kind of made it as this outside goal, and, last minute, wherever I could pull out if I didn't make it. But it was just a challenge. So I had that timeline to make it, and I did. So the week that I got my wires out, My teeth were nubbed. So luckily I got a little bonding on one of my tooth, or a couple of my teeth, that still had gravel in the bottom of my tooth from, the pavement. Seriously. Wow. And, I got my wires out that Thursday. I traveled up to Northern California. I made that job. And so that was like my own little personal victory that started that momentum, and that momentum started to build. And I was like, all right. I mean, I think we all, just need victories to start any type of momentum. And that luckily, was my first one. But yeah, when that first happened, I was like, all right, so how am I going to get my greens if I can't eat them? And that, boom, I got it through spirulina. And then the combination of amino acids and adaptogenic and Ayurvedic herbs and things like the yolks and grinding up liver. It sounds horrible and it tasted horrible, but I felt better. I felt really good. I was sprinting within a few weeks with my jaw wired. I mean, yeah, it accelerated my recovery. And also I was in really good shape when I got hit. So that helped. But yeah.
Were you eating a lot of like raw, unadulterated things before that? Because I know if you can switch to like raw egg yolks and stuff, you can kind of have an upset stomach for a while if you're not used to it,
I would do yolks raw.
Yeah.
But I didn't do the liver raw. Yes, I did. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I would cut up liver and put hot sauce on it and chew it. But and
do
that's
you
one.
Still eat like that today?
I don't. I sear it on both sides.
Okay.
It's. I'm not going to put myself through that anymore.
Do you ever take the like desiccated liver tabs or capsules? Have you ever taken those?
I have taken them. I think it's better from the raw or the food state rather than a concentrated dried pill form. But I can't speak on, the effectiveness. I know I've tried both. I definitely prefer the actual food form of it than the powdered desiccated form. But there are probably benefits to just taking the desiccated form of it. It definitely is a lot more practical and easier to do than cooking up the liver and dicing it up. But both work, and that's what I did. I still do it.
There's some good liver recipes out there. I mean, that's like, there's a lot of cuts of meats that have been taken out of, the typical Western diet that should definitely be reintroduced. And, we could even put some recipes for a good liver recipe in the show notes, for everybody.
Yeah. There's some really good ones out there. Not just adding that lime and I would do German mustard, just the citrus kind of takes that bite of the liver out. And then I'll add cayenne to kind of add a little kick to it. But yeah, you really got to disguise that taste because it's a little gnarly at first if you haven't done it. That's for sure.
So now you always hear people who have these near-death experiences. It basically gives them like a fresh or new perspective on life, and you kind of don't take things for granted anymore. So kind of is that true of you as well? Do you have like a new perspective since that accident?
100%.
Yeah.
I was a grounded, I've always been very spiritual. Ever since I was 14, 15 years old, I would always give thanks. And I knew gratitude ever since I've been young. I've always wanted health and happiness for my family, and I would express that daily. Ever since I was young, I would go to 6 a.m. mass. I mean, that's back when I was religious. I'm not religious anymore, but I'm very spiritual. So I had that going up to the accident, and just expressing gratitude. I think it's huge. But believe me, after the accident and having everything taken away from me physically, being an athlete my whole life, that was something that really rocked me. And just being able to lift things and run and chew and smile, having those taken away from you. Imagine a moment where you want to laugh and you want to experience happiness and not being able to because you're worried about your teeth running into each other. This is after I got the wires taken out. But I went through a year or two, being very insecure about my smile because this left side of my face, a nerve got severed. So my muscles on the left side of my face weren't reacting as my right side of my face was. So my smile was all off, and being a model or whatever, I was very self-conscious about that. And then my bite, my whole jaw, my bite was off. So my teeth, I would have to go into the dentist a couple times a month just to shave down certain teeth. So my teeth, it would all work uniform together. But that was a year or two. I'm still going through it. I still can't feel. I'll cut myself shaving every now and then, and blood will start dripping down, and I won't even feel it because this is still numb. This left, for whatever reason, this left side of my my lower lip, I can't feel it. I hope it comes back. If not, boom. I mean, I have something to remind me daily that I'm very, very lucky to be here. So you want to talk perspective? That's the best example of it, and it's definitely made me a better person for sure. But I just want to say that I was good before. I got the whole perspective and gratitude point of life before the accident as well, but now it's just been escalated.
Mm-hmm. So Andy, you mentioned you dove into all the research on the food, nutrition, and then at what point in that process did you start seeking out things topically for your skin?
So my surgeons and my doctors were recommending these creams. I still have one of them back there, and serums that I knew ingredients, and I knew what was going to work because I had bad skin in college, and I counteracted that through using good natural products. And
so you already kind of had a baseline of self-education there.
Right. And so I felt that I started researching clays, and there were cancer patients that would do whole bentonite head treatments to help remove the heavy metals that they were going through with all their CT scans and things like that. And so I had gone through CT scans, and I was going through constant x-rays to see how the bone was healing. And so I started ingredient by ingredient building certain different clays, building a mask through certain different clays. And then I would add certain things that were so nutrient dense that I was taking internally. But our skin being our largest organ, it was a little bit of a long shot, but I was like, let's just try it on the face, on our skin, which is our largest organ though. And it's escorted into our bloodstream. And I feel like you should treat your skin like another mouth. If it's so good internally, it's got to be good externally. Now that's not everything. Believe me, a lot of things didn't work externally, but I didn't care. I just used myself as my own biggest science experiment. And I started to see that the healing of my scarring accelerated, and I just felt better. The clays have this amazing ability to pull out toxins and draw out impurities, and adding things like colostrum, organic kelp powder. I would study spa treatments, but I would also add my own little twist to it, just based on long shots. As I said, a lot of things didn't work, but I fine-tuned this ingredient roster over time, over years, and started using myself as my own biggest beta tester. And the same people who saw me in the ICU were just blown away by, I looked fine. I mean, my teeth were down and my jaw was still wired shut, but my skin, you couldn't tell. And that was because I stayed extremely diligent with the skincare routine. Every other day I knew what I wanted to do as far as wearing my initial product which is the Alaterra clay mask. I didn't have a name. I didn't have any intention of making a company or a product out of this. I just wanted to feel and look better. And so that attention to ingredient purity and superfood extracts and things like colostrum, freshwater pearl powder, American ginseng. I moved everything out of my bedroom back here into my living room, made my living room my bedroom, and made my bedroom my lab. You should see it. I'm hopping over boxes daily, and this is where it's all run. This is where it all started. I would handshake I would buy these bulk containers of that are used for honey and olive oil from Whole Foods. I would just snap them shut and start going around town and selling it. This is a long time. This is a year or two down the road when people would, strictly through word of mouth, people would tell their friends, man, you got to try this thing because it's flat out. It's extremely effective. It just works. The most skeptical people ever were like, I don't know what you did, but that thing works. And it's in spas now, esthetician, private practices are using it. And I made it just based on my own research, and who better to test it on than yourself after an accident like that. And it's a true story of how I created the product.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And that's like me and Josh. That's kind of how a lot of our products started. We're all self-taught. We didn't nothing that's in there that's something that we haven't tried on ourselves. It was years of self-study and research and just trying different things, what worked, what didn't. But sometimes when you get in front of that customer and we're sampling out products and they look at you and like, oh, you guys created this? And then they'll be like, what's your degree in? Are you a biochemist or something? Or like, well, no, like I do have a degree, but it honestly didn't help us formulate these supplements. So do you ever catch any flack because of that?
Where's wood? Knock on wood.
I mean, you have an incredible story, obviously.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why they give me their time to hear me out. And people respond to passion.
Sure.
This is the truth. And it was this product, this whole brand was created out of necessity because I couldn't find anything on the shelves that I liked. There were always some type of holes in products. And I'm like, but I just knew what was going to work. So like with my moisturizer, oil by oil, extract by extract, butter by butter, I would buy them all. I would buy all the raw materials. I would melt down certain things that here in my kitchen, I would go to and I would mix them all together and apply. And in which I would come up with the formula and then send it off. Now it's professionally formulated and mass manufactured. But I did it all myself through, Gary Clark Jr. He's a guitar player from Austin, Texas, self-taught. He's like, they're comparing him to Jimi Hendrix. What he has is just a freakish ability for playing the guitar. And he just knew it. I mean, you don't need this. You don't need degrees to just have, some knowledge and interest and a passion for creating things that work. You're seeing that. I know that with myself, and I'm really thankful that people give me the time of day and actually are open to trying my products because I believe they work. And now I'm starting to see, that it's gone the way that it has through word of mouth and people, giving it, verifying that it does work and that it's effective and that the products are created from the story. The story draws people in, so they listen, thankfully. But you're right. There is that. Hey, wait a minute. How do you know this? Luckily it's just been from a point of interest, not of skepticism. But so far, we'll see. I mean, as it continues to grow, I'm open to that, and I'm not. I'm continually learning myself. But as you guys know, it's something. It's an ability and an attention to detail and a truth that we bring to the table in our products, in our brand, that there's a lack of on shelves today. And people will respond to that. A lot of our victories are built face to face in conferences, in these meetings. I'm bringing, just truth, and here it is. Try it if you like it, without an intention to a salesy approach. I just want to show people. For so long, I just gave the product out, and having that victory of people going, "Oh, I love this." I was like, "Boom, that's it." Then the tough part was coming up with a price, because that was never even in my head. I didn't even know my raw cost until I had to know my raw cost when we were getting into the business side of things. I didn't care about selling it. I just loved that I had a creative outlet that I made myself. Because for so long I didn't know what I was going to do, but now I could say that I made something, and you guys made your supplement business. I mean, it just feels great, and I'm very thankful that people are open to that in a society where that you would think that you need certain degrees or certification to have certain products, and I understand that, and I'm very aware of that. But I'm glad that people are open to our side of things, our business, that is it's great, and they're effective products. But no chemistry background, but what I do is I have an obsession for perfection with ingredient decks, and going above and striving for creating products that are just above and beyond. And I don't care what it costs me. I want to create the best product, and then eventually create the best brand where it's a no-brainer, where people will come to and go, "That's it. That's the one." And I can't think of any other brands right now where there's that, I can't, in the skincare business, like with nutrition or something right now, I would go Bulletproof is probably the one that I go to with just with just their level and obsession with creating the best products. But with skincare, I mean, it is a business and there are costs. But it's just me and my brother running this, and so that it's not like there's not a whole lot of overhead. We're here out of my apartment, but we're in 40 countries and we're doing it. And yeah.
Andy, I honestly kind of get goosebumps, man, because it feels like we're talking to another one of us. Like everything you say is what we say to each other on a daily basis. And it's so refreshing. Awesome. It's so refreshing to hear that there's someone else out there, in a different field, but literally everything you say is what Jake and I experience. And it's, the interest, the story turns to interest, turns to trust. Cause it's like, man, you're out there hustling, you're out there face to face, and people appreciate it, and, yeah, it's really, just kind of resonates with people. And, even as the brand grows, as your brand grows, as our brand would grow, it's like you're still never going to be out of it. You're always going to be hustling, making products, and, with the passion driving everything. That's really cool. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's just, it sounds like we're aligned. It's great that we can combine interest and passion to how we are making a living. It's for so long. I don't know what you guys did, but I was pursuing acting and modeling, which there's no set in stone timetable and route on how to get to the top. And I was okay with my internal belief that I was going to make it. But I like having more of a work ethic where I could see results based on the work that I put into it, and the research and development in the products that we create. And whereas acting and modeling, you can work your absolute ass off for a role and go in there and pour your heart out and never hear a word from the casting director on what you need to work on, what you need to improve on. And that kind of bothered me, that I would never get any type of feedback on how I can improve. And as an athlete, I want to know how I can improve. And on the acting side of things, I just never really, and that's okay. I mean, that's just the business. But to be I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just it's going to continue to grow. I mean, as time goes on, as our knowledge, I mean, it's my thing. I don't like reading, but I love reading. I mean, they say that you will start to like to read and learn. And when you find something that you love and that you're interested in genuinely. So this is it. This, baseball, food. I mean, I'm pretty simple when it comes to that, as far as just things I'm extremely interested in.
No, I love why you got into your business. And me and Josh were just talking about this last night on the way back from Houston on our drive in. We had met with a few supplement stores and some other people who had started some brands. And there's just so many people out there who get into the supplement industry because they just want to knock off another brand and they see a potential to make some big profits, right? So they just get into it just for making money. And that's something that I know people are never going to accuse you of, and we pride ourselves that they can never accuse us of that because of our story, how much the ingredients cost. I mean, that's just, if you look at it, we're not in this just to make money. We want to make the best products that are effective and do their job and aren't going to do harm to people, right? And so, yeah, that's right. Just, we want to clean up the supplement industry, basically.
That's awesome. I mean, the biggest thing, I had a conversation with my best friend and my little brother. I mean, the flat out truth of it with me is I've never gotten goosebumps through a paycheck. I get goosebumps through making that phone call to my mom and dad, or sending that email to my mom and dad from a heartfelt email from a person that was suffering from acne that counteracted that, befores and afters. Like, I'm getting goosebumps right now, dude. I don't know if you can see that. But that's goosebumps. That's excitement. That's, what else do you want? I mean, sure, as long as I'm alive and keeping things going and making my family proud and hopefully able to do some awesome things for my family that was there for me in such a moment where I was down and out, then that's awesome. But you take, Michael Morelli, a buddy of mine who's in the fitness industry, you take moments with you. I don't really, money, it just doesn't excite me. You know, I'm absolutely not in it for that. I mean, it's just, it's the moment, it's helping others, and it's the excitement that I get through helping others. And that's it. You made a very good point right there. That's it for me.
So Andy, let's dive into a little bit of the business side. So you went from selling this out of your truck or out of your car, out of the apartment. And how did you go? At what point did you go, okay, we got to like button things up. We got to take this next level, from selling it yourself door to door to having, a professional manufacturer and things like that?
So February 2014, I did a podcast January 2014, excuse me, with Dave Asprey, who's the CEO of Bulletproof Nutrition. And he had his podcast called Bulletproof Radio that had 16 million downloads at the time. And long story short, I had been a big time customer of Bulletproof. I troubleshooted his email address, Dave Asprey, d.asprey, Dave Asprey at bulletproof.com. I copy pasted the same thing. And I did before and afters of pictures of me in the ICU all banged up. And then I did like a after picture of being like Men's Health or whatever. And I was just trying to get some type involved with the company somehow, some way, or maybe even get some type of discount. I don't know, but we were aligned, and I loved his products, and I was a big customer of Bulletproof. And one of those emails went through. He got back to me, said, we got to talk. And so it was cool because I was up in Northern California at the time. My mom and I and him and another person had a conference call just about, my accident and how I was using his products to help accelerate my recovery, because as I lost 17 pounds, I needed to get back to my frame, or I wanted to get back to my frame where I was before. And I really did that through nutrition, and Bulletproof was a huge part of that. And so he brought me on his podcast to talk just about my recovery and how I use certain things to accelerate my recovery. And then towards the end of the podcast, he's like, you said you had scarring. What? I don't see any. What'd you do for that? And I was like, and the beautiful thing is it wasn't planned. I was hesitant, believe me, because what guy wants to admit that they're doing a mask or really into skincare or whatever, but I didn't care. I was hoping that it was going to help somebody else out there in a similar situation. And it just started to flow. And I told him about this mask I created. I didn't have a name. I didn't have a website or anything like that. But I gave out my personal email address towards the end of the podcast, and he had 60 million downloads from all around the world. Wow. He was getting contacted. I was getting emailed with people who had really nice things to say, but also wondering where they could buy the product. So I had to come up with a price immediately. $35 free shipping just sounded good. I didn't know. And so I was going to Whole Foods and buying these big bulk containers, scotch taping them shut, going to FedEx and printing out this horrible label, slapping it on and shipping it off and going, yeah, hope you like it. Just typing out these directions, handwriting my signature on it. Like it was just, looking back, I mean, I still have some of these. I got them right here. Oh wait, where is it? Look at this. It's just like my little ingredient directions, and like, hey, you got to start somewhere, right? But that's truly what happened. And Dave was getting a lot of feedback, interest for the product and how they could do it. And he'd been primarily, or how people could buy it. And he'd been primarily just for nutrition. And so he brought my product on as a Bulletproof approved, skincare supplement, so to speak, a clay-based facial treatment mask that was going to escort nutrients into the skin, but exfoliate and help remove those impurities. And he put Alitura, the Alitura clay mask, on his site, which is really, it's hard to put into words. I mean, I've been such a fan of Bulletproof, and to have Dave as my first partner in Alitura and to build this business with him, it's pretty surreal.
I struck gold.
Yeah, I really, I mean, I'm here because of him. I'm very aware of that. And, it started to grow from that. And we officially launched June 26, 2014. And we're coming up on 2 years now. And I couldn't really, ask for a better partner to be with strategically, because he's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. He's got a heart of gold, and he has that trust, which people respond to trust. I don't want, growing up watching, I'm not going to say any names, but infomercials. I never bought any of those products on infomercials now because I didn't really, there wasn't any trust there. I didn't trust him, but Dave is just like, you start listening to him and seeing the passion face to face and why he went certain routes in his brain octane oil and how he extracted the charcoal on his coconut charcoal. A lot of people just encapsulate the first round, but he gets the next round, which is a much finer particle. He just goes above and beyond with everything, that's what I responded. And that's how I do things. And we're extremely aligned in that respect. And so it's great to have him on board to work me through things. Cause I had never run a business before. I mean, getting that initial capital to scale up and getting that 24-foot U-Haul and kind of driving up to where me and my friends would get together, and I got to show you video of it, and just we would get together and we would throw on music and we knew the numbers because I knew the percentages of the breakdowns of my product, but scaling up to 4,500 units, that's like I didn't, but you learn on the go, and luckily people loved the product and the reviews were coming in. So that really helped. But then just people wanted to follow up with a moisturizer. So I created that. It took a long time, and then followed that up with a night cream. I'm making a cleanser now. And then I'm encapsulating my supplement of all the herbs in the Ayurvedic, adaptogenic, immune system strengthening herbs that I used after my recovery that I was telling you about. And so it's going to continue to grow based on just my interests and what I love to do. And then I'm seeing that people luckily trust the passion and the ingredient obsession to perfecting ingredient decks. And that's what I respond to as a consumer. And I will take a hit in my margins or whatever to create the best product, just to create or to get that brand awareness of that's the one, that's the brand you need to go to for hopefully I'm getting that. We'll see. It's just my thing,
So what are some of the biggest obstacles that you've had to face so far in growing your business from that infancy stage to where it is now, and it's a real tangible product? And what do you think is the next step to get you to that next level?
Well, the next step is getting it out of my apartment. I would love to have a fulfillment warehouse where I can store this. And I say that, but I kind of love this grind. I do. I love its quality control. I mean, I know every single jar that left my apartment because I made it.
Yeah.
I'm not handing it off to anyone else, but okay. So to answer your question. So yeah, I do need to get it. Need to get it mass manufactured by a good, trusted co-packer where I've gone through 3 or 4. I've visited the facilities and I've been in the labs with, very respected chemists. It's fun for me, but, we are in the final stages of, actually, I'm going to send out the email today of going with the co-packer here in Chatsworth, California, that they see it. They see the level of obsession that I have with this product. It's taken a few tweaks, but they nailed it. So as we scale, I can't make, 20,000 units of this out of my apartment. So we're going to go through a co-packer with that. But that was an initial hurdle because, with the reach that Dave has, I remember when I first launched, we had our first Cyber Monday and our Black Friday sale. And I had to fly home from Northern California early because, from Thanksgiving, because we were reaching out of stock on Bulletproof site. And I was nearing that as well. We did 734 units overnight. Wow. Just out here, just pure adrenaline, pulling all nighters and you get it done. But I kind of miss those. I won't lie, but because it's excitement, it's adrenaline, and you're happy. You have an interest in something that you created. Which what more do you want? But I realize as you scale, that's not scalable. So that's been the initial hurdle, and then fulfilling just little stuff of operations, which are big things in the long run as far as the time. Our time as entrepreneurs, we need to use that as in the wisest fashion possible, which in the best use of it is in, expanding the reach of the brand through the meetings that we have, through, as you guys said, you travel around from city to city, getting the word out there. That's where our time is most valuable. I'm aware of that. And So I got to stop doing the physical labor, and that's been hard because, handing it off to someone else who, it's not their baby. I understand that, but it's been difficult because sometimes things slip up. Sometimes people forget to throw the exact measurement in there, and now the product's thrown off. I can't have that. So it's been tough. It's been tough, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not even 2 years into it, and it's okay. In this infancy stage, it has to be perfect. In every stage, ideally, it would be perfect. Do
you have any horror stories from visiting those different co-packers? I mean, anything you saw that was just like ghastly and couldn't believe was going on?
Yes. When I gave my initial ingredient deck and I said non-negotiable on the ingredients, having a certain co-packer use a different ingredient because they found something cheaper. I can't have that. I said non-negotiable for a reason. They didn't probably think that I was going to taste it. I knew exactly what they were lacking on. They used I don't want to, because maybe they're listening.
Yeah, right.
They used several different ingredients in my 9 ingredient roster, which were different than the specific source. I used 5 different sources for my product. They may have just gone with a one-stop shop through all of them and found a cheaper source for that. I can't have that, so I tasted it. I went into the lab. I'm like, they're like, oh, they were probably surprised. And I was like, I said, and I was nice about it, but I was like, I said non-negotiable. And so that right there, right off the bat, kind of, you lose a little bit of trust. And so boom, you go to the next one and you go to the next one. And so that's something we have to be extremely careful with, because there are costs. Everybody, not everyone, but people sometimes find, cut corners, and I can't have that, Yeah. So that's the one right now that's, I'm sure you guys can relate. We make our products for a reason, for perfection. If I'm going to use something, if I'm going to eat something, it's got to be perfect. It's an absolute obsession, but people respond to that obsession because you create something that's unique and, through that. And, if you go, especially with the supplement industry, especially with skincare, if you get a product that's not as effective, or an ingredient that's not as effective as what there is a difference. They're not all the same. Absolutely not. And so, and even down to the particle size, if I'm with my mask, the particle size, it has to be like silk. So if I'm using a certain clay or a certain extract or whatever that they found cheaper or whatever, that's a little more granular, now it shows up and sits on the face differently. And now you've affected my product, which is, in my eyes, we have over 500 cumulative reviews at a 4.9 out of 5 on all the different respective sites. That's for a reason. That's because of my upset. So
we can relate, man. We've got a few horror stories. It's amazing. Like you said, when you're trying to create something of perfection, and suppliers or co-packer could just see the ingredient and relate it like it's the same as the other 10 sources from different suppliers, raw material manufacturers, right? And it's like, no, it's not the same. I put it on the ingredient list for a reason. It's not, if it says 95%, it doesn't need to be 75%, and we just up the dosage. That doesn't do the job.
Oh man.
So
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Right on.
Well, you spoke about all the good reviews there. Have you had any, what's the experience been with any bad reviews?
So it's tough. It's really tough for me because,
especially starting out. I mean, I know that's how we feel.
So it's been great, but the few times, and as we scale, it's going to happen. I had to let go of that because it rocks me, and I'm glad that it rocks me because I really care. So I just recently, someone on Amazon was more dissecting the fact that I'm in straight from the entertainment industry into this, and they were touching on that and not just trying to bring me down as a brand. And I had to let that go. I wanted to fire back immediately and just go, why not create a product on your own rather than try to bring someone down? I will never bring down another brand. It's just, it wouldn't feel right, but there are a lot of people out there that are going to try to bring us down. And so that's one thing that I have to get over, is just there are going to be people out there that just don't like the whole process, and that, because of personal whatever. But and then just on the actual product side of things, sure, it's a little earthy smell, which we're working on, because it's a natural, the organic kelp powder combined with apple cider vinegar. If you do it right, it's not going to smell great, but it's an all natural product. I'm not going to add any fragrance to it. So that's something that luckily it's been we processed, I don't even know. Very few returns on the mask. That's awesome. And that's great. So, I give out my, certain essential oils that are going to be very effective to the skin, because that's the point of this. It's just, I want to accelerate cell turnover and make it as most beneficial of a skincare product as possible. It doesn't have to be the best smelling. It doesn't smell that bad. But like if you add certain oils to it, like bergamot, lemongrass, clary sage, sea buckthorn, you can counteract certain things with that. And I offer advice on how to beat that. And listen, as we scale and as we do more and more business, you're not going to please everyone. But in the initial phase, when someone, gives a bad review, it's tough. It's really tough. Luckily, the only times we've seen that are someone from out of the country irritated with the shipment time, and that's out of my control. I guarantee you I got the order out within that day or the next day. So that's out of my control, out of my hands once it goes through customs. And I explain that to them. Look, it's just, and it's understandable on their end. They probably want to be able to track the package. I totally get it. And that's something we're going to have to confront with the fulfillment center and really nail down. But that's been the only problem, is just, getting, dealing with people that want to know where their product is from in Germany. And I understand that. And then, but from a product standpoint, man, we, maybe there's a broken pump every now and then. We'll ship out a new pump. You guys got to try the products. It's as far as, the mask is a little earthy. We've heard that, but for the most part, man, people are digging it. And then also you have to deal with just the negative people who are going to be negative, period. So that's been tough, because this is my baby, it's only me doing it. I do care. It's just, and if you look at my Amazon, I'm writing back to these people politely and just going, I just, and I offer suggestions on how to do certain things. And you know what? It's just, everyone's skin is different. Sometimes it's just not going to work out. But I don't have to be happy with that. But
well, a 4.9 out of 5 stars, over 500 reviews. You're doing a lot of things right, clearly. So, and do you have a charcoal in the mask as well? Because I've used a charcoal face wash and clay before that was nice.
I've heard that. I've seen that around, the charcoal mask, the coffee scrubs, the charcoal cleansers. I just, the particle, especially with coffee, the particle size is a little too thick or too big, where my skin was irritated on every coffee scrub that I've done. Charcoal, I'll try it again. I just, it doesn't work. There's better options out there for me. I do everything based on my skin. My skin is super sensitive. Any type of redness or irritation is going to be there for a week, like clockwork. It's just, so I start off with mine and with my skin, and if it works out with me, then I'll pass it on to someone else. And if some things don't make the cut, then they don't make the cut with me. Coffee scrubs, charcoal, that just didn't work. Cause I found better options out there. Clays are just, especially when you get milled down to a particle that is just like silk. That's what's worked best for me. But the charcoal, is a little too harsh for me. And the coffee as well. So I don't go that route.
So do you ever have, since you're guinea pigging yourself all the time, do you ever try something that makes your face red or spotty, and you go out in public oh, there's Andy's trying something new,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's pretty obvious when I've done a mask. I do mine in the morning, did one, I don't know, a couple hours ago. And it's stimulating. It creates the ascorbic acid and the different the clays create a lot of circulation to the surface of the skin, and it's just blood flow. A lot of those capillaries become stagnant, and I think that gravity that's what brings the skin down. I think you got to keep those capillaries flowing, keep that circulation going. to the dermis and then escort those nutrients right back into the skin. And that's what I think it should be all about. And I don't want to go through routes like chemical peels, enzyme treatments, microderms, just really harsh. I want to go an all natural route and then just hop in the shower. I mean, so I've only had really bad reactions through those chemically laced products, things like those chemical peels and those now it all makes sense because it's just, you're escorting chemicals into the dermis where my skin is just used to all natural, remedies. So that's where I've had the issue, and I just don't do that anymore. But as far as certain things, if I ever had a bad reaction to,
or any of the natural
absolutely.
stuff you're even trying, like the coffee you mentioned, or
so the
like
coffee
that.
Scrubs, I would grind up coffee, and then when I was thinking about it, because it was intriguing, the coffee, there was a lot of irritation from coffee scrubs. So yeah, to answer your question, that was one thing that just it was very spotty, and it didn't go away. So I did experience a reaction from that, and so no coffee. You won't be seeing a coffee scrub on the Alitur line. That's for sure. I think I'll go a different route. But I do want to do a scrub, but it'll probably be something a little more granular. I don't know, maybe Himalayan. I don't know. We'll see.
See the wheels turning.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but believe me, you got the little, the wheel spinning right now. So we'll see.
Just out of my own curiosity, what do you do for shaving? Because my neck is super sensitive. Like I haven't shaved in probably months. I just do a beard trimmer, and that's just going to be it for me.
There you go. That's a great question. I just did a post on it yesterday. I have an absolute, because man, I used to get like clockwork, ingrown hairs, irritation, razor burn, you name it. And it was because I wasn't doing the proper shaving routine. Now I was using Mach 3s. I was using horrible shaving cream. And so what I do now is I figured out a way to beat it through. I do the mask before. I'll hop in the shower to open up the pores and lift the mask exfoliating, the hairs and getting those, the dead skin cells moved off helps lift up the tiny hairs. And then I'll hop in the shower, open up the pores. I'll do raw, aloe vera leaf to provide as a lubricant for the razor. Right. And then the big thing for me is using a Merkur single edge safety razor, which just wipes the hair off. So the hair is slightly lifted, and then you just come through. The aloe provides a slick surface, and then I'll use my moisturizer or whatever to just add a little more, conditioning, healing effect to the skin. But the single edge safety razor just wipes the hair off. And I'd be really interested to see how that works with you. I have the post. I'll give that to you. It's extremely effective. This razor is so sharp. You got to be careful, because if it touches your skin, it may get a little nick. The whole point of it is just to touch the hair only, and it just wipes the hair completely off. So that doesn't happen with me anymore because of that routine. Ingrown hairs, irritation, razor burn, that just doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if that works with you. I'll get that to you guys after this in the show notes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So that kind of segues next into, what are some personal routines that you stick to, kind of morning, evening?
Absolutely. So I felt so good pretty soon after the accident that I'm just going to continue to do this for the rest of my life. And I have this morning tonic that I do. I wake up. I read this thing in Men's Health years ago, where if you do some type of physical activity till failure, as soon as you wake up, I'm talking like as soon as you open your eyes, go down, bang out some push-ups. I mean, if you only want to do some body weight squats or some jumping jacks, get that blood flowing. That really, they said it improves your energy capacity like by 40% throughout the rest of the day. And I'd have to agree. I mean, I definitely felt a boost from that, and I continue to do that daily. And so from there, I'll go into my kitchen and do my morning tonic, which is composed of many different adaptogenic and Ayurvedic herbs, amino acids to help circulate those herbs throughout the system from head to toe. And then I'll go in, if it's my day to do the mask, I'll throw a mask on. I do it every other day. But if not, either way, I'll hang upside down an inversion table, which really, for 10 to 15 minutes, I started that after my accident to help, really, just loosen up and, my spine. I was all bunched up and just, I was luckily didn't have any disc damage, but I just wanted to lengthen out my spine and just, and in doing that, I create a lot of circulation because a lot of that blood is rushing from my feet to my head. And then also I just had my morning tonic. So you're getting all those herbs flowing throughout your body. And that's just what I do every single morning. And it's a great way to start off the day, man. So I have that, the blood flowing and then it's just, I'll hop in, I'll do I intermittent fast. So by that, I'll have my dinner the night before, say 7, 8 p.m. and I won't eat anything until the following day, say 12 or 1 p.m. And that's what, for 16 to 17 hour fast. And, but in the meantime, I'll do a bulletproof coffee and which satiates my body with the good fats I'll throw into that, the grass-fed butter, the bulletproof brain octane oil, and the coffee. The stimulant properties of the coffee provide, the natural caffeine, and the good just capacity of the coffee combined with the good fats just create a good, satiating, slow burning fire and I'm not hungry. I love food. I have more energy and I've noticed my body tighten up and lean up a little bit through that intermittent fasting. So I swear by that. You put your body in a state of ketosis through that, which is big nowadays. There's a lot of things coming out on that. And so that's what I do. And then at night, my big thing is get as locked in as you can throughout the day and then help nourish and recover while you sleep. And I have a different nighttime tonic that I'll do, just a very calming, things like pearl powder, GABA, theanine, glycine, proline, amino acids, and then good collagen powder just to help my body recover and get good sleep so I can wake up and do it again.
So Andy, the tonic, is that like in a warm water or a tea or how are you drinking that?
It probably should be but I use regular just filtered water,
fresh water,
6 to 8 ounces. Yeah, I just use regular filtered water. A lot of people use a warm water. They boil it up, but I'm going to be boiling up coffee right after that, so it would take a little longer. But I've never tried that hot. Maybe I should.
So you have the coffee shortly after the tonic,
right? So okay. It's probably 20 to 25 minutes to really get that tonic, absorbed, so it's not too much liquid in the system at once. But about 20, 25 minutes after that, I'll have the coffee and then, man, I'm good to go.
Do you ever throw any collagen or colostrum into the coffee?
I do. I throw collagen. I throw about a tablespoon of bulletproof collagen powder or collagen. It just depends on what I have. I won't throw colostrum in there. I'll do colostrum at night because it's raw and denatured. The first 6 hour milking, grass-fed colostrum that I'm doing, and I think like a hot coffee may take away from the
nature
good,
a bit.
Nature of it. So yeah,
sometimes
I do that.
I'll just put it under my tongue. I'll use the Mount Capra colostrum, goat colostrum. Yeah.
They have a really good goat milk whey, right? Goat whey.
They do a goat whey as well. Yeah. And, I order my colostrum from them and it's about 60 servings. I'll just put it under my tongue before I have coffee and, just kind of let it sit there for a little while. But
is that goat colostrum or
it is. Yeah. It's goat colostrum.
They have that on Amazon?
They do. You can get it straight from their website. I'll email you the link, but, I love it. It's really good. I mean, it tastes, if you like goat cheese, you'll like, cause you do get a little sense of that goat flavor. It's a little earthy.
I love goat cheese. Perfect.
It's great. I mean, it's full of nutrients, as you know, you use it in your products. So it's good stuff.
Let's check that out.
So you're on the grind from mid morning to kind of 8 p.m. You kind of have your morning routine. And then what does your work day look like?
So after, it's just after during, of the coffee right here, just boom, straight to the computer, banging out emails, banging out social media content. It's, as you know, it's just all about bringing good, valuable content to followers, to customers, to friends, family, whatever. Luckily it's something I just am constantly thinking about all day. So that's, just to bring good, valuable content to social media is huge. It's been great. It's really how I have helped build my brand. through things like Instagram. Well, Facebook's been huge, Instagram, and then staying on top of personal business profiles on all those different. It takes a while, but it's okay. I mean, that's what I do. And then I'll go in. Luckily, I have my brother here to help me with the orders, packaging up those, staying on top of certain publications, getting out. We're our own biggest publicist right now, and just getting out the story to as many different media outlets as we can. We're starting to see really good feedback from that. Your own biggest publicist, right? So that, and then it's just a constant. How do we constantly moving forward and a flow of how to just expand the reach and how to build the brand and get the word out there. It's all day. So from, say, if I get up at 6:30 and, coffee's done 8, got to get to the post office by 5:30. I mean, it's nonstop. I'll try to get a workout, after I drop the orders off. I do like to get sun every day. Luckily it's sunny out here almost daily in Los Angeles. Good 10 to 15 minutes, get that good vitamin D flowing, and in between, say around 1 p.m. or whatever, then back to the orders. And, that's what my work day consists of.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's a lot though, because it may sound like, but I mean, staying on top of inventory, research and development of new products. With so many different ingredients and all the different, this is my warehouse. Everything is here. And so just inventory, production, and, it's a lot. So, I may be leaving some things out there, but it's just, believe me, there's always something to do, as you guys know. So, yeah.
It's a constant grind. Well, I know you said, you're an avid reader. What are some of the books that you find yourself, rereading throughout the year, or that you find yourself recommending the most?
Well, I don't want to make it seem like I'm an avid reader, because I love reading on nutrition and, different ingredients, and finding out the latest and greatest. And a lot of that is online. So
right.
I just, there's a lot of different, I'm constantly seeking knowledge throughout different podcasts, online, YouTube, you name it. I always have something going around here. So that's because I'm more of it's easier for me to listen and absorb rather than reading content. But some of my favorite books, I just love, I love right now, Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis. I got Slashes, just Slash's autobiography. I love hearing guys. I love because I can relate to stories of people that have been down and out and how they beat it, how they recovered it. It helps motivate. Mm-hmm. That's what I love reading about. That's why that's currently what I'm on right now, is because that's what motivates me personally. And then I'll seek knowledge through different websites and different podcasts, and just but it's constant absorption of that knowledge through different outlets online. But as far as I don't want to make it seem like I'm a huge reader. I need to improve on that, because I do believe that's how you build and strengthen your brain. I gotta work on that. Do you guys have any recommendations on things that I should check out?
Books? Yeah, I feel like we recommend a few. We of course want to read more than we do. We try to read at least a book a month.
Yes.
A lot of people I know try to read a book a week, which is it's a lot. And when I read it, it's an investment of your time. And so you want to absorb all that information in a book and be able to apply it. I'd rather read, the quality book a month than breeze through a book a week. But, we have some we can send over to you. So, some recent ones that are really great on kind of motivation, business, athletics, that type of thing.
There you go.
Yeah. So what's kind of your exercise look like these days?
So I'm in and out. So 20, 30 minutes into the gym and then into the sauna, just to help escort those impurities out of the system. I love pre-workout. I'll just do arginine, niacin, maybe a little American ginseng, And then I love music. I mean, just you combine that with just natural energy from the coffee. Well, I guess supplemented by the coffee. And then I'm big on high intensity interval training. I don't rest. I go from one set to the other. And then if I have to, obviously I'll, just get a quick little breather in, but it's constantly just moving into another workout. And say if I go one day with back and bis, next day I'll go chest and tris, and then next day I'll go shoulders and forearms. I need to work on my legs, doing maybe some more squats, deadlifts, stuff like that. I just, I had to do so much of that when I was playing. And now that I'm not playing anymore, I kind of just like have fun with my workouts. And this year I'm starting to pay more attention to doing more ab building exercises. So I've been doing more research on just how to build and brick up those abs. And so that's been fun because I stopped doing abs after because they're kind of boring, you know what I mean? And to me, but actually there's some really good exercises now in building them that I found to be kind of fun. But I'm in and out 20, 30 minutes, a few times a week. I love working out outside. I'll bang out the ropes, pull-ups. And then, I get a good dense recovery meal or shake after working out. But I'm big on, high intensity, just no rest, and then just getting, very, very quick, and then just recovering through nutrition. But also I'm big on the sauna. Sauna is, huge for me, building up that lactic acid and escorting those impurities out.
You may have heard of this, but we actually had the creator of a new app that's launching, I guess in the next 2 weeks. It's coming out called Beat Active. By a guy named Jaron Vosberg. He actually used to live in LA. He lives in Denver now.
Yeah, he was an agent.
Yeah, he was an agent for a few years in LA, and then he worked for the X Prize, and then lives in Denver, created this app. Music was always kind of his passion, and as was exercise. And so it's a 20 to 30 minute workout program. We did a little short video when we launched our podcast on Instagram for it, but he combined like kind of electronic house music with a workout routine. So instead of kind of trying to cross, like Spotify with a workout app, it's now all in one app basically. And it's the workout moves. So it'll be in 3 seconds, you're doing burpees, and you do burpees until it tells you to stop, and then you rest and the music's still going, and you're kind of doing a little short active recovery, and then you go into squats or whatever. And it's actually really great. They do a lot of park workouts, like group park workouts on Beat Active, around Denver. And he's getting that up and running.
All the movements and your tempo of your movements correlates with like the architecture of the music actually. So it's pretty neat. But
that's a great idea because, music for me is everything. How many times has music just flat out woke you up? And, that's part of your pre-workout. You know what I mean? Like, I have very specific songs I'll listen to. It's crazy. Chuck Liddell walks out to a song by DMX. It's on It's Dark and Hell is Hot. It's just the intro. When those bells start playing, I listen to it every single time before I go to the gym. And that's, I'm ready to go. It's crazy. It's just, there's something to be said. I wish we could explore the science behind what music does to the cells in your body, because that's good that they were able to combine, music with a workout routine, because that's brilliant. Can't believe it wasn't out there before. Music is absolutely part of mine.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be big. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you've been gracious with your time here. We really appreciate it. And where can people find out more about you? And you would definitely direct them to the website, Alitura Naturals, but where can people find out more about the products and yourself?
Oh, well, first off, thank you for your time, and thanks for having me on here. It was good chatting with you guys. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Andy Hnilo. So it's Andy, last name is Hnilo. The H is silent. And also at Alitura Naturals, Alitura naturals.com. And it's at Alitura Naturals on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well. And any questions, by all means, contact me at Andy@AlituraNaturals.com. Happy to happy to talk about this stuff because, as you guys know, it's just there's nothing else I'd rather be discussing.
Awesome, well, I feel like I say this after every guest, but we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah,
great. Yeah, I loved having you on.
Hey, man, likewise. And if I'm ever out that way, I'm definitely contacting you.
Oh,
man.
for sure. Yeah, we'll do that A&M game, no doubt.
Let's do it. Right on.
All right,
cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Yeah, until next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the 2Fit Podcast. This episode is brought to you by 2Fit USA, the sports nutrition company owned and operated by the 2Fit guys. To show our appreciation for you tuning into the podcast, we would like to give you a 10% off your entire order at 2fitusa.com. All of our products are sugar-free, paleo-friendly, gluten-free, non-GMO, and a whole list of other buzzwords. So hop on over to 2fitusa.com. Don't forget to use your promo code FIT1, that's FIT1 at checkout. We highly value and appreciate your feedback, so please leave a review about the products and the podcast at our website, 2fitusa.com, under the podcast and products pages. You can also leave a review on iTunes. Now, if we happen to read your review during one of our podcasts, you'll receive a 1-month free subscription of all 2Fit products. So write something noteworthy. If not, we probably won't read it anyway. So go leave a review, listen to the next episode, and till next time.